Okay guys, don't forget to push the subscribe button if you like getting reminders about the uploads and things like that. Right now we're still covering the story on MALEAH Davis. MALEAH was last seen wearing a pink bow in her hair, a light blue zip-up jacket, and sneakers. So keep an eye out for her. She's about 4 years old. She's about 30 or 40 pounds. Last seen in Sugar Land, Texas. Right now, we're finally hearing from the mother of MALEAH, and her name is Brittany Bowers. This story is still very new, and the only reason we're hearing on it right now is because it's an Amber Alert. It's a little girl that went missing, and we don't have a lot of details at this moment, although we do have some details that have been updated. So we're hearing from the family of MALEAH Davis, and the mother is really having a tough time. She is struggling. She can hardly function while trying to search for her daughter. And MALEAH's grandmother, or she calls Nana, is there as well, trying to help her daughter search for her granddaughter. She says it's like they're in the twilight and they can't get out of it. The family is passing out flyers. They're begging the public to help them find their missing loved one. And I can tell you right now, I was watching the video where they interviewed the mom, which I'll show you shortly. And it was hard not to, have tears streaming down your face. This is really heartbreaking. So what the police have to go on right now is only the stepfather's accounts of what happened, and we're going to go over that quickly. So according to the stepfather, Vince, he says that the family, that would be him, his daughter MALEAH Davis, and his 1-year-old son, were driving to the airport about 9 p.m. to pick up the mother of the children, Brittany, from the George Bush Airport in Houston. She was to arrive back to Houston about 12 a.m. But it wasn't, Vince was not there when she arrived at the airport, and she had to call her mother to come pick her up. Brittany spent the night with her mother Friday night. They woke up Saturday morning, tried to contact Vince, and they said they could not get a hold of him. So he ended up calling the police twice. They felt like something was not right. They were very worried. I think they were having a little bit of difficulty getting any help from the police at first. It wouldn't be until really late Saturday evening that they get word that Vince is at the hospital and her daughter has been reported missing. Vince claimed that they had been kidnapped and that he had been unconscious for almost 24 hours. And he really didn't know what had happened. And this is the story he told police. According to Vince, at 9 p.m. he was on his way to pick up or get to the airport, the George Washington Airport, to pick up Brittany when she arrived at 12 a.m. But something happened to the car. He heard a popping noise that sounded like a popping tire, so he pulled over to check the car out, make sure everything was okay. And at that point, he sees a blue truck similar to what you see in this picture here pull up behind him, and he sees, now this story varies a bit according to which media source you look at, and the police even vary. So he says in one story that there's 2 Latino males get out of the truck and walk over to him. He really doesn't go into many details as to what the conversation, you know, how it went, but he does tell police that the men commented Maleah's looks, and they say she looks very nice. She looks very sweet. And that's according to several sources between the police and news articles, if I can speak. And it's at this point that either the second Latino man, or there's possibly a third Latino man, knocks Vince out. Vince says it's a while. He said that he come to, and he was in the back of a truck with Maleah and her 1-year-old brother. And now suddenly he sees 3 Hispanic males in the truck with them. Mr. Vince said he faded in and out of consciousness until about 6 p.m. Saturday evening. So approximately about 20 hours later, he woke up. He was on Highway 6 with his 1-year-old son laying on the side of the road when he finally come to. And the area that he was dropped off on was Sugar Land, Texas, which is the same area he lives in. So he said he tried to stop ongoing traffic. Oh, I forgot to tell you, the daughter was not there. It was just him and his son. So when he come to, he's trying to stop a few people driving by. He's not able to do that. He's not successful at that. And he ends up walking to the Houston Methodist Sugar Land Hospital. And according to his story, it took him a couple of hours to get there. Once he arrived at the hospital, he said he ended up, getting treatment there. And then he also reported his stepdaughter, Maleah, missing. And that's according to his accounts and what the police have so far. Now, police have been able to pull up some surveillance information on the missing Nissan Altima. So according to Vince, he was kidnapped. They took his car and they took his stepdaughter. And police say that they capture a picture of the Nissan Altima driving through the intersection in Houston suburb off of Sugar Land just before 3 p.m. Saturday afternoon. And police, as we speak, are going through tons of surveillance videos, trying to get more information the whereabouts of the missing child. So I want to do a quick recap. So this is what happened. So you have him leaving for the airport at 9 p.m. Friday night, where he is to meet the mother of his children at 12 a.m. early Saturday morning. He never makes it there, and that's because he's kidnapped. She arrives at back to Houston around 12 a.m. She can't get a hold of Vince. And at this time, Vince is supposedly, him and his 2 kids are in a blue truck riding around town for some reason, kidnapped. And he's just out at this moment. So May 4th, Saturday, early morning, Brittany she wakes up from spending the night with her mother. She still can't get a hold of Vince. Contacts the police twice. Can't get a hold of him. Still can't get a hold of Vince, but the police are kind of slacking a bit, she suggests. And it is probably 6 o'clock later that evening. Vince has woke up on the side of the road, and he's walking to the hospital, where he then reports, he had been kidnapped and the girl is missing. So Sunday morning, the Amber Alert goes off, and here we are Tuesday. Just now, we're not getting much. We're not getting much on the story still. We still don't know what happened. It's still a bit of a mess. But now we're hearing from the mother. And I was looking online to see what people think, and a lot of people find this story to be quite, fishy, and rightfully so. Things just don't seem to add up. It's an odd story. It's something you don't hear. You hear a lot of stuff, but I've never heard something like this. Not saying that it hasn't happened or can't happen, but this isn't something you hear very often, especially when it doesn't add up very well. Some people even suspecting that the mother might have had something to do with it, but I would have to say I would be terrible at judging if I'm wrong about this, but I really don't feel like she had anything to do with it. But you can't, police can't leave anything out. You have to cover everything. Of course, the mother's going to be looked into, as well as events and anybody else in the family or friends involved in the little girl's life. But a lot of people definitely do not believe anything Vince has to say. They feel that he is the reason the girl's missing. Some people believe perhaps maybe, it was an accident and he's just trying to cover his butt. And because there has been documentation of physical abuse once that we know of with the girl, they believe that it's possibly, having to do with one of the parents. Somebody hurt the girl. But I'm not going to judge anybody until I don't think the story adds up, but I don't judge. I like to see facts. I like to support my theories before I say them. Now, I watched a clip today because I was wanting to see what the mother had to say and how she felt. And she's out there handing out flyers. She's a complete emotional wreck. She has her family, her mother, all out there helping her pass out flyers. And she's breaking down every few minutes. She's really struggling out there trying to search for her daughter. And they are not the only ones. You have EcuSearch, the Texas branch, out there searching for MALEAH. And this is an amazing group. This is an organization that needs more support from its community. You have a lot of organizations out there who, nonprofit organizations collecting money, and they really just profit off of all those donations. They do a little bit, not much. But places like St. Jude's or EcuSearch, I've noticed that they put a lot of their donations into the work. It costs money and time to get out there and search for these missing people. And I'm going to ask you guys, if you like to give to people or you have money to give to EcuSearch, because I've been covering a lot of these stories lately, and they are always there trying to help somebody out, and they don't get enough recognition. They don't get enough support, really. They don't. Now, police, they are sharing some information, but not too much. And they're really, I don't know if they're doing a good job or not. He was quick to get, information out to the public. So that's good. I guess in time you'll find out. But we're losing the time window is closing for us to find MALEAH safe. And it's so important we work as fast as we can right now. So if you, you have social media, most people do. I don't really, I try not to get on there. And I found out my sister's having surgery today, so I won't be on after this, probably. I don't know. We'll see. Because I'm kind of worried about that. But, share some information out there. Try to help this family out because, like I mentioned, that window is closing fast. We need to get, everything we can out there to the public and get them searching. Now, before I close this video out, I do want to share a video clip where they interviewed the mother and the family.
Every few minutes, reality overwhelms this mother as police continue to search for her 4-year-old daughter, MALEAH Davis.
And I love her so much. I love her so much.
Last Friday night, Brittany Bowens was flying back from a trip. MALEAH, her stepdad, Darian Vence, and their baby son were supposed to pick her up at Bush Airport at about midnight, but never showed. Vence told police he was beaten and kidnapped after stopping for what he thought was a flat tire and woke up the next night off Highway 6 in Sugar Land. The 1-year-old was with him, but MALEAH was gone.
She's missing. If you have any information on any leads or maybe...
Tonight, MALEAH's family and friends passed out flyers near First Colony looking for clues.
If she's listening to this, I want you to know that Nana loves you.
MALEAH's grandma says when Vence didn't show, she got Brittany from the airport and they slept at her home, never assuming the worst. But Saturday morning, after they still couldn't reach Vence, they went to police twice.
And what got me was, I decided something's not right here. Nobody's contacting us.
Several hours later, Vence and the baby turned up at Houston Methodist Sugar Land. The next day, Sunday, the Amber Alert was issued.
Nana's coming for you.
Since then, it has been a roller coaster of emotion as this family begs for the safe return of their precious little girl.
I just want to find my baby. I just want to find her. Help me find her, please. Help me find her.
If you can, please help this family get some answers. If you saw anything or know anything, call Houston Police. Len.
They're really tough to watch.
Okay, that's very sad. Thank you so much. KHOU 11 News. You did an excellent coverage on this story. And I want to say thank you guys for taking time to watch. See you soon.